everybody, and welcome to our next New Earth teachings with Ascended Master Lakeshma. So, of course, those of you who follow my work with the beings of the light, you would know that Lakeshma is an Ascended Master from Atlantis, and she teaches us a lot of parallels with what is happening now in our New Earth awakening, because a lot of things that happened at those beginning phases of Atlantis basically parallels to what is going on here. So in Atlantis, it was time of the first Great Awakening, and we're going through similar things right now. But of course, what is happening now has never been experienced. It is the greatest Great Awakening that's ever been. It's a transformative evolutionary shift for the whole collective. So yeah, lots of shifts are occurring, and excited to bring her through. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her through, and we shall see you on the other side. Hi friends, it is Lakeshma coming through, mighty ones. As you know, you are going through many great shifts to allow you to remember, to realize that you are the eternal beings of all that is, that you are highly advanced beings, that you are truly not alone in the universe, mighty ones. The time is upon you in the collective that the new earth, in your terminology, is being birthed, is being realized by you. But what is the new earth? The new earth is not a separate earth. Understand it is the concept of duality here. The new earth relates to a state of consciousness of the collective that exists here, that is united with the oneness, with their brothers and sisters here, oneness with Gaia. The remembrance of the divine connection with your mother, with Gaia, with all your brothers and sisters here. This is the new earth. It is a remembrance of why you are here. It is a remembrance that you are here for a reason, that you were birthed through Gaia for a reason, that you are exploring your reality for a reason, that you are eternally connected with all in your reality, that all in your reality is a reflection of the duality consciousness which you chose to explore here as an advanced being that you are, my dear ones. Yes, you might doubt how advanced you are, but the fact that you are here existing in this physical reality is evidence to you of just how powerful you are, of just how expansive you are, my dear ones. This relates to all others in your reality. So those that you may see as lesser than, those that you may perceive as doing wrong, doing something that is not preferred, understand that these are advanced beings just like you. There are no beings here that are lesser than. that are doing wrong. Understand here, it's only in a perception of duality where you see others through the eyes of duality. It's an illusion where you perceive that things happen to you, that people do things to you, that conditions do things to you. But my dear ones, all is happening for you, for your evolution, because you chose it. So it's time now, my dear ones, to take yourself out of this paradigm of victimhood. Understand that this was a paradigm needed for the collective consciousness for a period of time to assist you in your evolution. But understand this paradigm of victimization no longer serves you or the collective. But yes, you may be still attached to it. And this is why you are experiencing it in your reality. So understand there is no wrong journeys to explore here. Just understand it is no longer required for your evolution. You are no longer exploring it for those who have let go of it. For those of you who have not let go of it, you are still exploring this paradigm until you can surrender to the truth of who you are, that you are eternal free beings, that you are one, that there were no such things as victims, because all chose their reality here, all chose the conditions on which challenged them in this reality. And you co-created the players in this game, those that trigger you, those that perceive it do harm to you. You created this with them, pre-birth, yes. That's how powerful you are. You might ask yourself, why would I choose such a thing? But understand you don't choose this from a human perspective. You choose this pre-birth from a state of non-physical. Because you wanted expansion, because you're so highly advanced. Understand with every single challenge that is presented to you, you have all the technologies within you to work through it, to process, to transmute. This is how you evolve. This is how you remember your light. This is how you remember your internal. This is how you remember your purpose. This is how you remember all your divine psychic abilities, all those labels you like to put on it. You are remembering your eternal nature, that you are magic manifested. You are source. How can you not be powerful? You are remembering this every step of the time. But understand as you go through this journey, you do need to face those aspects within you. Those aspects that perhaps you have ignored, that perhaps were too difficult for you to explore. Those aspects that you have repressed. Those belief systems that perhaps served you, that no longer are required. Understand it's all coming to the surface now because you wanted it. The collective wanted it. Understand, yes, it's being manifested on a collective level because there is no separation. And understand that all you see in your physical reality is a reflection of the shifts. So understand if you're experiencing such manifested shadows in your reality, understand that this is for you, for your evolution. Understand that this is a pathway for you to feel your empowered divine self. Understand that these are just shifts that you chose. Understand that you chose such challenging conditions because you wanted great expansion, because you wanted that catalyst for you to remember that you are source, that you are internal. Can't you see the game being played here? Yes, it is a game. It is a game that you chose to play with your brothers and sisters because you wanted evolution, you wanted expansion. You knew that by being here in this time-space continuum, you would be lifting, transmuting, expanding not just your perceived self, but the whole collective. Can't you see how powerful you are? That you are shifting the entire collective. You are heralding a new age of consciousness in your terminology. You are shifting the very timelines of humanity. You are, by being here, allowing the activation of your galactic DNA and aspects dormant DNA, dormant aspects within you that is now ready to become activated because you now as a collective are ready to explore love. Can you feel it, my dear ones? We are just so excited for where you are right now in your journey. You might experience some doubts here, but understand you are so close to remembering your power. Are you seeing the glimpses of this already? We know some of you are. Understand here, mighty ones, that you are so powerful. Understand that anything that triggers you is for you. Understand that you're never alone as you move through your shadows, as you let go of what no longer is acquired for you to remember your love state. You as a collective are transforming to something beyond a human state of being, because you are much more. And you have evolved to such a point that these human programs are no longer required. Now you are activating something else. You are now starting to explore who you are in your multidimensional, multi-state of being. You are now exploring programs that relate to your galactic nature, your eternal nature, who you are that is beyond human form. You are in a transitional period. So understand there's never been such an expansion before. There's never been such an awakening, because these human timelines, these human cycles of time, of consciousness that you have seen in your historic perceptions has shifted forevermore. You are no longer experiencing those timelines. You are now at the forefront. You are at the front seat of a new cycle of evolution. Can't you see how exciting it is? You're so advanced. You are in the front seat of it all. Those of you who are existing now in this time continuum, you're in the front seat. You will bear witness to the shifts that will change, reflected in your society. They will herald this new timeline shift. And you did it because you chose love. Because the majority chose love. You may not perceive this in your reality, but understand that the collective, for the majority, has chosen love. So because of this, you are exploring the next shift of your evolution, the next paradigm of your evolution, which is the exploration that is aligned to who you are beyond the human body, the human form, the human programs. So everything related to your experience, all the programs of reality is now shifting. And this is why there is so much transmutation occurring at present. We understand it's been quite intense over the last year and then some, but understand it was all necessary. And understand you are able to overcome it all because you are the advanced ones, but you may not see it. And understand that all those who are here, even though they might seem not empowered, they truly were. They're just playing roles for you to assist this evolution of consciousness, evolution of reality, of form, of everything, because there is no separation. So understand there are no victims here, and understand that you are source. You are much more than source, because you are able to experience your physical reality and be witness to your creations. You are source, but you are also exploring physical reality. That's what makes you so unique. Just imagine what it would be like to explore physical reality, yet know you are source. To know that you are the creator and be witness of it. And to physically create and experience your physical creations. That's how advanced you are. So it's time now to remember, to raise your perception of who you are, because you are powerful and you are worthy, because you are source and you are internal, my dear ones. It is such honor that we come through today to remind you of your power, dear ones. What would you like to discuss today, dear ones?
Thank you, Lakeshma.
Hello, my
So,
D1.
yeah, Lakeshma, if we could, I think the guidance is letting go of the old version of myself, right? Of Isabel and the paradigms. And you talked a lot about it. And it's interesting because it's all what I have known or remembered in this present time, right? And I think it just feels very foreign and weird. Is there any help that you can? I mean, I know we use this analogy with the caterpillar and the butterfly because the caterpillar is so different in physical form to the butterfly, right? And so I can only imagine what the caterpillar is experiencing as it transforms into a butterfly, losing legs and getting wings, right? But I think to me, it's like the belief system has been with me for so long, to let it go just seems odd. I'm really good at processing beliefs and whatnot, but I think letting go of Isabel completely just seems really it just feels weird. And I was just wondering, what practices that you might have embarked, or a vision, or I don't know.
My dear child, how wonderful you are in exploring your inner self. Understand that you have these abilities of transmutation, but understand that you are still aligned to attachments of who you are and your identity. Understand that you do not have to let go of who you are. You are just letting go of programs that are attached to a perception of self, that aligns and is attached to, we would say, an expired state of reality, an expired state of being. And when we say expired, it means that it just is no longer needed. Doesn't mean it is wrong. It just means it's no longer needed. So understand, you are not losing who you are. You are remembering more of who you are. So it's not about letting go of all that you think you are. It is about surrendering to remembering more of who you are. Understand that those aspects of you, those paradigms that is no longer needed in your reality now, will be transmuted in divine time when you are ready to explore more of who you are. So understand here that it will require you to push past that fear. It will require you to let go of controlling your reality, to let go of what your life should look like and what your reality should, and how it should be reflected back to you, because you chose much more. So understand that everything that you've explored was there for a reason. It allowed you to get to this point, to inquiry. It has allowed you to search for those inner answers. It's allowed you to be where you are today. So firstly, understand that as you move forward in your journey, you are just remembering who you are. In relations to practices, my dear one, there are many. You know of the most powerful one that relates directly to the programs of humanity, of those expired paradigms. That is the shadow work. Understand, because you are still attached to it, these programs, these techniques relating to this program is still needed until you can transmute, until you can transform, transmute what is no longer required, until you can be witness more of who you are in this reality, in the new reality, expanded reality. we would say in your terminology, a high dimensional experience of who you truly are. Because who you truly are in all different dimensions already exist. But you are now attracting that high dimensional reality into this reality because you're ready to play at a more advanced level in your terminology, because you are all advanced beings. So understand here that you have the technologies within you and represented within your reality to assist you in this transmutation. Because as you know, you are one with all that is, and you are one with Gaia. And because everything that you perceive as outside of yourself is within you, so you can use this game of duality to allow for more activations to take place. And we have discussed the ways in which you can connect to the elements of Gaia to assist you in this process. So understand that the wisdom, these activation keys, can be seen in your reality, in the elements of Gaia, but understand they are also with you, in you. So understand this is a fun exploration here to use duality from a perspective of oneness. So understand that duality system is not something wrong, is not something not desired, because you can use this while it still exists in your reality, even though it is transmuted from the collective, while it is still here in your reality, while you can still see separation, use this as an advantage. So tap into the portals that exist, which the portals are within you. But of course, because there is no separation, those same portals are outside of you as a reflection of duality consciousness. Can't you see? So my dear one, because you are Gaia, because the waters of Gaia are the very waters that one's within you, all the elements that you see in Gaia, all those energy points also relate to what is happening within you in your physical form, in your energetic form. Understand that you can do certain practices here, connecting to these elements. And with the understanding that, and with the attention that as you connect to such points of Gaia and elements of Gaia, you are at the same time using those activation keys to activate those elements within you, because there is no separation. So understand it might be perceived as external to you, but it's actually also occurring within you. So let's just say it's a way for you to explore certain access points within you on a level that makes sense to you in your perception, because you are still attached to duality. So can't you see here how duality, even though it is being transmuted from the collective, understand that you can still use duality to tap into the oneness state of who you are. So my dear ones, yes, in the times of Atlantis, we had many different practices taught to us from the galactic ones. We have talked about the powers of water programming. Now, water programming can be used in many different avenues of your reality. You can also program the elements, not just water. You can program your crystals. Your crystal technology also holds certain codes within it, for it's been birthed from Gaia, and it holds certain keys within it. So you can imprint the crystals, imprint the water, but you can imprint all the elements. You can hold the earth in your hands and imprint that sand, imprint the earth. Understand that you have the powers of source within you. You have the powers to work with Gaia and her elements to assist you to connect and realign you in the conscious reality of who you are. She is here for you. You were birthed through Gaia. Because of this, you have her DNA within you. Just like how you were birthed through physical parents, you were also birthed energetically and physically through Gaia. So she's also your parents. And everything you see in Gaia, in Earth's realms, in the elements of Earth, is also within you. That DNA, those activation points, those portals, is also within you. So it's time now, as part of the new earth, to recognize that she is also you, that everything you see in your reality, that what allows you to breathe in physicality, what allows you to ground into who you truly are, is also within you and can be accessed in a perceived external way by connecting to the external Gaia, knowing that in connection you are connecting to who you are within. So we would say that there are many different techniques you can use. In Atlantis, we use water technologies and crystal technologies. We use these elements that were specific to our timeline continuum. So understand that such practices such as crystal technologies has expanded because Gaia has expanded. But understand that we would say for water is something that's very available to you in the moment. So understand that with water, as you imprint your energy, you can set the intentions. You can use the dimensions that's available to you to empower it. You can use your visualization techniques, because when you visualize, you tap into other dimensions. And we would say that to keep it aligned to who you are and your own divine self, we would say to do a visualizing technique that is from your own intuition. Understand there is no set way and set method of visualization. It's whatever comes to you in that moment. And understand that it is unique to your frequency and the activation codes and the dimensional access that you need to tap into for you. So understand that, yes, what imprinting your attentions is universal, but the visualization process is unique because everyone can tap into unique dimensions here, because it relates to who you are in your multidimensionality, in your multidimensional life experience. So because of this, the dimensions are unique to you. Can't you see here? So for instance, when you drink water, you can use the energy of light and sound, because as you know, the frequencies of light and sound created the universe, created all that is. So you can use this as a God creator that you are to imprint the water. You can set your intentions. Understand that you set your intentions in all practices that involves energy, such as meditation, such as drinking water, such as eating food substance, such as bathing in the sunlight, such as holding a crystal, such as bathing in the waters. There are many different ways, creative ways you can imprint. With your drinking water, you can make your intention that you intend for this water to assist you to activate the awareness of what steps to take in your journey. You can be creative in your intentions, but understand that as you set your intentions, be present. Understand you might have access to an intuition, felt knowing of what visualization practice to do, what other additional step to do. Understand that you might have a flash of what color to project, of how to verbalize into the water through song, through vibration. So we ask you to be creative here, because you are creative beings, but understand universally that you are able to tap into this multidimensional power that activates you in this present reality through your intentions. So make your intentions with the water. This is we would say, one of the most easiest ways for you to imprint the energy. So make your intention. You can change the frequency of the water by your intentions. Make the intentions that when you drink the water, it will assist you to ease ascension symptoms, that allows you to more easily process your shadows, or whatever you wish to have as your intention here, because you are God creators. You may wish to visualize a light coming into it. We would say to add sound if you are inspired to, because sound is also a frequency of creation. Don't worry about what it sounds like. If it's just a tone, if it is a word, be creative. You can visualize it coming from the palm of your hands. You can visualize it coming from your heart center. Be creative. Understand it will be unique to you because you are unique frequencies. So believe in your powers of creation. That is just but one technique, There are other aspects. You may imprint your crystals. You may recalibrate your crystals by placing it in the soils for around 20 minutes to allow it to be recalibrated to the Gaia's energies. You might want to bathe it in the waters for 20 minutes, whatever you wish. Just bathe it in the earth elements. And then you can imprint your intentions, just like the water, your crystal. But understand your crystal is also divine. Understand it's part of Gaia. And there is much wisdom held in these elements, including a crystal. You can consciously connect, for they are living beings, just like all aspects of Gaia. It is energy. It is divine. It is eternal. Understand there are so many aspects here that can assist you. Can you go outside and feel the wind on your face? If you listen closely enough, you can hear a message in that. You can hear a message in all things, because all things are aspects of you. With the sunlight, we understand that there are aspects, there are different, we would say, weather systems around the world here. So understand that some might be perceived to be more challenging than others to connect. But understand with the rays of the sun, you receive activation codes from the internal central sun. You receive activations from the stars in your galactic self. Understand that all these activations are also occurring within you. They just carry certain keys to activate what is already within you. Can't you see? You are not gaining something outside of you. It is already within you. It's just a play here on duality to visually and be creative, explore and activate the external, knowing that at the same time you're activating that within you, because you are one and the same. And yes, we practiced lots of imprinting of the waters. Waters was part of the central culture for us. For us, it was sacred. Water is sacred. Water has been there from the start of your creation, from before you were created. Water was encoded by the galactic ones with imprints to assist you in your evolution, knowing that you as a human cell that are an aspect, a fragment of who you are now, was going to be born through the waters. And in doing so, you were able to then receive those coded waters within you to become one with it and start the evolutionary journey of who you are. Understand that all these aspects of who you are and what is now being activated within you was all set in place from the beginning of your creation. And the waters of your world had a big part in this. So understand the power of water is within you. Understand because you can imprint water, the very water that runs on Gaia is within you. It is within your blood. So understand you can imprint your blood. You can imprint the waters within you. Can't you see how creative you can be if you can see the oneness of all that is? So understand, my dear ones, you have the power of creation here. If you can believe you are capable enough to do so. Be creative. This is how you be witness to how powerful you are. So use these steps as guidance for you to start your creative journey. But explore what comes to you. Use your intuition. Use the inner guidance. And this will assist you. Connect to the stars, connect to the sun, connect to the earth. They're all aspects of you. Can't you see? It's about letting go of the conditionings here that tells you you are limited, that tells you you are just human form, but you are not. You are starting to remember just how eternal you are, dear ones.
Thank you, Lakeshma.
Dear ones, do any other questions today?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
I feel like right now I'm going through some sort of transition, and I feel prompted to release and to pour more love into myself. to work on raising my vibration, which I've been doing. I do what I can, what I feel prompted to do, but I still don't know what it is I'm purging. I feel like I'm chasing my tail, and I don't really know sometimes if what I'm doing is the right thing, but I still go on with it because it makes me feel good, and that's important. But I don't know what it is that is in my subconscious mind that needs healing. So I don't really know if what I'm doing is even enough. I just feel a bit confused by the whole thing.
Mighty One, it is part of the human condition to analyze your journey, to analyze every aspect and dimensional experience. But Mighty One, you do not have to know what you are transmuting. All you need to do is be able to, when you are triggered in the moment, to see the belief there. You have this power, and that's what the transmutation process is. But understand here, yes, even though you might have done much soul work, inner work on transmuting a certain belief, a certain shadow within you, understand that time is not linear, and understand that the dimensions are not linear, and understand that even though you've transmuted one aspect, because time is circular, because how you explore reality is spherical. And because it is spherical, you may return to the same experience. But understand, if you return back to that trigger, to that same shadow, understand that you'll be exploring another aspect of it. And you'll be exploring it from a heightened perception place. So understand, Mighty One, if you return back to a situation which you thought you worked on, understand it is for you. Understand that you're not exploring the same thing, the same aspect. You are exploring another aspect of that shadow. And that's how it works. So it's about letting go of a linear thinking here. Understand that everything is spherical, and that's how you evolve. It is about just surrendering to how many times you do visit something, and understand that every time you revisit, you are more empowered every time you do so. Understand that you have more available technologies within you every time you do so. Understand it is for you to assist you in your evolution. So understand you do not have to analyze exactly everything that is occurring and being transmuted within you. It is about just being in awareness of when you are triggered in the moment. It might be hard to do so in the moment, but when you have a negative emotion, if you can change your perspective to that is happening for you, that there is a lesson here for you, you will already be able to let go of that resistance, and then you will be able to more easily see the soul lessons in there. You may not see and be witness to the actual belief here, and that is okay, as long as you can see it from a higher perspective. Do you feel good when you've done that processing? Can you feel the relief there? Can you maybe not see the full picture of the belief, but you know it is happening for you, that you know that it was because you judged something, because you judged something as wrong, because you did not see yourself as worthy. And if you can just change the perspective that is happening for you, even if you don't know the full details, that is enough for you to transmute that aspect of that shadow until you are ready, until it comes back to you, to then explore it further if it is necessary. Understand it might not be necessary to consciously explore all the details of a shadow. Just by you making the conscious choice to perceive it from a higher perspective, perhaps is all that is needed. But understand, if it feels good to you, this is a pathway that is the correct, it is the right, it is the expansive pathway for you. But understand if it did not feel right, this is also right, because there is no wrong and there is no right. But understand if you're exploring something that brings you joy, this is the path for you. That is happening for your highest good. Everything that is explored on this path, and when you're feeling good, even if you may be experiencing fear and your shadows, understand that this is necessary. And everything is happening for your highest good. So it truly is about letting go of having to know all the fine details of every shadow, because understand that the transmutation, the processing will never end. Because you are so expansive, you're not always supposed to know every aspect, because yes, my dear one, some of these shadows may not even relate to this life. It might relate to soul contracts, which you call it, pre-birth intentions, things you wanted to explore, dynamics you wanted to explore that stemmed from another life reality. So understand that the cause of it might have happened in another parallel life, a multidimensional life. So you're not meant to know all the details of it. So understand this can also be within the journey for you. So understand that if you have this belief, understand that you do not have to know where it came from, just to see it from a higher perspective, my dear one, because you are processing all your timelines, because you are evolving all the aspects of you that are connected to this reality are being transmuted. So your timeline as a human can be transformed into what is as being now birthed from within you and the collective, because there are many parallel realities that relate to this life reality, can't you see? So for you as a collective and for you as a perceived individual to transform and start to explore a human collective program that is aligned to a new stage of evolution, one must, we would say, explore the transmutation process through all those multi-realities related to this reality. So understand you don't have to consciously go there, but understand that if you're experiencing fear, there's a chance it could come from one of these multi-realities, parallel realities that aligns to this reality, that aligns to you as a human, but living different lives, but relates to this human existence. In this reality, who you truly are is so multidimensional, and there are many different layers and aspects of your multidimensionality. I just understand that all the dimensions that relates to you in this reality is now being transformed, because you are ready, you and the collective are ready to finish this chapter of evolution, to go into the next, to turn the page in your evolution journey, because you're ready. So understand that if you can let go of attachments of the origin of the creation of your shadows, you will free yourself up more from seeing a higher perspective, knowing that it does not matter how it originated. If it comes to your awareness, if it stems from this life and you have the awareness of it, then it's for you, but understand it doesn't always have to come to your remembrance. It is just about changing your perspective that is happening for you, and just to revisit. How worthy do you truly feel? How capable do you truly feel? Are you truly judging yourself? Are you judging others? Are you perceiving something as wrong? This is the basis of all belief systems that cause fear. So if you can get to that understanding, no matter the cause, this will lift you and transmute that shadow. You can make your intention when you are experiencing such fear, the shadow being experienced by you, you can communicate to that dimension, because you're internal. As you make your intention, you allow your multidimensional self, your higher self, source, God, your spirit guides, to show you the lesson there, if it is meant to. When you're experiencing fear, in the processing stage, you can ask yourself, for your higher self, your inner self, your guides, however you like to call it, it is you showing you, end of the day. You can ask for guidance if you can be shown what is the belief here that I'm not seeing that limits me in my expansion here. What is the belief that I'm holding on to that is creating this feeling of negativity within me. Make your intention and be open to it. Understand that you will be required to let go of that ego mind, because your ego mind will try to fight that answer, because you see it might come to you what the belief is, and your ego might prevent you from receiving that communication, because you want to always know that you're right. So, and you are also right, but let's say the ego mind comes into play and tries to control the communication here, because it is fighting to survive here. But understand, this fight relates to your shadow self. In higher truth, you don't have to fight, and understand that your ego is your friend here. And you can work with your ego if you can see it from a higher perspective, and understand your ego is a defense system to protect the identity of self. So if you're attached to fear dimensions and there is a belief that might impact your identity of self, your ego might try to prevent you from receiving this communication. So if you can be gentle in your journey and understand that it does not matter what beliefs come up for you, and understand that and practice this in knowing, in consciously reminding yourself that no matter what beliefs come up for you, if they are about you, understand that these are just paradigms of existence. Remind yourself to allow that message to allow you to connect to a higher dimensional experience of the ego. Make your intentions and practice. Remind yourself that no matter what beliefs come up for you, it has no impact on how worthy you are. It has no impact on how capable you are. Understand that some might be afraid to know certain things about themselves, certain shadows about themselves, because what does that mean about who they are as a person? And they may feel shame. Understand here that that's just aspects of a dualistic system. Understand it is okay to experience these emotions. It is about you consciously practicing detaching for these emotions. If you allow yourself to feel these emotions and to be able to receive these communication of the beliefs you have about yourself and the world, even if they might impact negatively yourself, your sense of self. If you can prepare for that by reminding yourself that no matter what belief is shown to you, you have always been perfect. You have always done right. You could never do wrong. Understand that you've always been capable, and that everything that happened, whatever beliefs that were formed within you, was perfect and necessary for your evolution. If you keep reminding yourself of that, of the truth of who you are, you allow yourself to let go of that resistance to exploring the beliefs about yourself that may be perceived to hurt the ego, the sense of self. But understand who you are is beyond a human self. So it's about unconditioning, unlearning, and detaching yourself from who you are and your identity of self, to allow the clear communication of the beliefs that come to you. But understand through this process, if you still not see the cause or the origin of this, understand that it is likely originating from another life, from another parallel life, and that is okay. But you will know that you've processed it, because you will feel the belief. You will feel your vibration raising. You'll be able to have clarity that there was a judgment, that there was a perception that you repressed within you, that you were not loving yourself, that you were judging an aspect of yourself, that you were judging others, conditions, and that is okay. Remind yourself that it is okay to have these judgments, because you were attached to human paradigms. And yes, it's being transmuted, but the collective is still attached to it. So understand it is okay, and it is normal to have judgments. It's about recognizing that, yes, you have judgments of self and of others, and perceptions of self-worth that limit you, because you see yourself as capable and worthy enough. And understand it is okay, but understanding you can now choose another perspective. Can't you see here? There is no wrong you can ever do. There is no belief that is wrong. There is no belief that tells you that you are not worthy, that you are not capable. Understand it's just a paradigm of experience, of human experience. And that's why you were here. You wanted to experience the array of human emotions, of fear, of love. So understand that you wanted it, but understand it is no longer required to explore these dimensions of fear. Yes, you are still exploring them because you and the collective are still attached to duality consciousness. And this is what is happening now. You are transmuting that paradigm. You're already exploring oneness dimensions in your awareness. And this is why you experience both sides. This is why some of you experience the oneness of who you are, but yet you can be triggered and fall back into dimensions of fear. Understand it's a polarity system, but understand you do not have to experience it as fear and suffering and victimization. Understand that everything that's occurring for you is for you. So my dear one, surrender to who you are, the love that you are. Know that you are powerful. Know that you are capable of overcoming and transmuting and working through and transmuting every shadow that presents itself. Because this is how you evolve into your conscious awareness state. You are already enlightened, all of you are. It's just you have not remembered it. And this is the process to remember your source divine state, D1. D1, is there any other questions today?
Thank you. I have a follow-up question, if you don't mind.
Yes, my D1.
Okay, so I've been working on surrendering, and sometimes I feel unsure as to whether I'm being indifferent and whether that indifference is actually me surrendering or whether that's an egotistical response, so to speak. And like, if I'm going through something, I feel like some of the things I've been going through, I've gotten to a point where I feel an indifference towards it. Whereas before I was keen on figuring out a way to change the reality. Whereas now I'm just like, well, whatever it is what it is. This is what the situation is now, so whatever. But then doubt creeps into my mind and I think, well, is that really surrendering or are you just fooling yourself? But I genuinely just don't care anymore. So I don't know. I feel like there's a very thin line between surrendering and I guess maybe talking yourself into believing that you don't care when perhaps you're harboring a feeling about it either way in the back of your mind. And I feel like I'm winding myself up, trying to figure out where I sit in that fence and whether that really matters anyway.
My dear one, the key here is to have awareness of your emotional state. Are you not caring because the fear is too great? So you are pressing it. You're pretending that it doesn't matter and that processing the fear is too hard, so you put it aside. So there's a difference here. Or are you surrendering it and not caring of perception, being loving acceptance of it? Because you recognize that it is perfect, that it is love, either way. So can't you see, yes, you might perceive it as a fine line, but it's your dimensional experience at the time that holds. If you are acting from an ego state, from a point of fear or from a point of love, if you're in a point of unconditional acceptance with love, understanding that it is for you and that it does not matter how it unfolds because it's going to be happening for you, this is you surrendering. This is you recognizing the neutrality in all that is, but being an unconditional acceptance is a frequency of love, and it's how the human paradigm expands and transmutes the fear. So there is a difference here. If something perceives to be so hard, in your terminology, if something is, let's just say, it's challenging for you to process that fear and you just put it aside and you get to another time and you're like a whatever in your terminology, then that's you resisting the process. But yes, being neutral and not caring can help you, but understand that you still need to process that fear. Understand that that might help you to let go of the resistance to a degree, but understand that if you don't process that fear, it'll just come back to you. So understand that you can do the work in the moment. Understand you may be required to feel intense emotions, but understand you don't have to suffer through any emotion. Understand it's just an experience. So that is where you can gauge where you are acting from. But understand no direction is wrong or right. It's just whether the exploration that you are taking is one that is empowered and one that brings you joy, or one that brings you suffering, or one that brings you limitation. Both pathways are perfect. It's up to you which pathway you want to explore here. So yes, letting go of the conditions on how it should be presented by using unconditional acceptance. That is love, my dear one. But understanding that if you are experiencing fear in that moment, it is still for you to process that by using unconditional acceptance, by knowing that you don't have to agree with something, but by you consciously seeing it as happening for a higher reason, even if you cannot see the why. Knowing that it's part of your evolutionary journey, knowing it's a soul lesson there for you, and just allowing it to be unfolded the way it's supposed to for your evolution, for your highest good, and being in that unconditional acceptance and trusting that you will have the ability and the guidance every step of the way to manage that condition, that experience, to say the right words, to take the certain action steps. So understand there is a difference on how you let go. Are you letting go because of fear or letting go because of love? So listen to your emotional state. Have the awareness of how you're feeling in the moment. This gives you clue if you are doing it out of love or out of fear, my dear one. Is there any other questions today, dear ones?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
I was walking in the forest the other day, and at two places I came across trees that were really twisted and turned and seemed so different from the other ones growing nearby. And I stopped to look at them, and I had this intuition that there was some kind of energy in Gaia, some energy vortex or something that affected them. And I was just curious to what's going on with those trees.
Understand that there are many energy points in Gaia, but understand these energy points are also within you. So the fact you are able to pick up on that guidance means that is an access point for you. It does not mean it's an access point for others. It just means that it relates to you and your reality. So my dear one, use your intuition here. Understand that all the shifts that are occurring within you is seen within you in your reality. So use your creativity by using your intentions, connecting with what you see as a portal, asking it, what does it wish to show you? Communicate with it. It's there for you. The fact you have guidance that it was there means it is there for you. So can you communicate? You can communicate with the trees. The trees are intelligent beings. They are very ancient forces. They are wise. Connect with them. Connect to the portal. You are exploring who you are, my dear one, and your purpose. Time for you to believe in your capabilities. You may not know the steps right now, what to take, but understand the activation process for you to remember how powerful you are is to trust in that inner guidance in the moment, your intuition. So we could tell you every step to do here, but that would not empower you. To fully empower you and your purpose here, you are to find that for yourself. But understand, yes, your intuition was telling you that that point was for you. That part of Gaia is for you and it relates to your purpose. So trust in your intuition. Use your God creator abilities here. You know you have special abilities. You may think you do not. You may doubt your abilities and how powerful you are. But understand it is in this co-creation with the elemental kingdom, this co-creation with spirit, with aspects of Gaia that is also within you, and you can allow your powerful gifts to be remembered by you. So yes, my dear one, connect, stand there, be in the present, feel, use your senses, make the intention, imprint, communicate, open yourself up for communication. Yes, the words might come to you like your own voice, but you can communicate with those trees and the portal itself. Make the intention. And this goes for everybody that explores Gaia elements. If you perceive there is a certain point, a certain portal, then it is for you to explore. It is a pathway. It is an access point to your inner being. It is an access point, an activation point for you to bring online certain abilities and more steps in your purpose within you. But understand it is for you. So trust in this guidance. This is why it is about opening your senses here, your physical senses, your energetic senses, all the senses, because it's about feeling the energy. And you receive the guidance, the inner knowing, not from the ego mind, but from feeling. You can tap into this knowing. It does not have to come in this external voice. It comes from within you. So listen, make the intention to connect. Set your intentions. What is it trying to show you? How does this relate to my purpose here? Be in stillness, whether this means sitting, whether this means physically connecting with your hands, feeling how the energy reacts on your skin. What is the temperature? Open your senses. What is the temperature? What is the physical feeling? Are you feeling a magnetism? Are you feeling a static? What are your emotions? What do you feel? The messages can come in emotions. Are you feeling joyous? Are you feeling like you finally remembered your purpose? Or are you feeling resistance? Are you activating in more of your shadows that need to be transmuted? There could be a range of different experiences, but it relates to you and your evolution. But make the intention to connect, be in stillness, use all your senses, feel, experience, verbalize, make your intentions, and open yourself to receive the answer and the message. It is for you, my dear one. It is one more step in your exploration of just how magical and expansive you are. And you all have this ability. It's about opening your senses and your perception to what is. That all that is within Gaia is within you because you are born of Gaia. Gaia is within you. She has created your physicality, so aspects of you is also found within Gaia. It is direct portal. It is an access point to who you are within. Do you trust in your capabilities, dear one?
No. I guess I've been disconnected for so long. I had this sense when I was younger that I could connect, but I never really got the feel of it, and I sort of gave up on it. So I guess it's takes time to come back to that.
One more step at a time, but understand by you receiving the message yourself, that is where the empowerment comes from. That is when the activation comes from. We can only guide you to a certain level. We can only guide you to a certain point, and then it is up to you to take the next step, because that is when you become activated. That is when you be witness to how powerful you are. Because we can tell you all the things, all the steps in the process, but understand that you will still not believe it. You will still not believe you're worthy until you're able to receive that communication for yourself and act on that guidance. And that's when you'll be witness to who you are. Can't you see the process? It comes a point where we can only guide you to a certain point, and then it's up to you to take that jump into the unknown, mighty one. And how great you are in exploring your journey here. We understand that you have explored much fear paradigms and much of the conditioning that has limited you in your life experience, but understand that you are here for a reason, and understand that everything has happened for you to now take that step into the unknown. You are ready for it. Allow this to be validation to you that you are ready to step into the unknown, that you are capable, that it is within you. You have all the wisdom, all the abilities within you. You just, to activate that is for you to know that you're worthy of it, to believe you're capable of it. Can't you see? You are already an aspect of Gaia. So how can that information not be within you? Can't you see? And it relates to your purpose here. Part of you might doubt that, because you don't see you're capable of it. But there's a part of you that does know this. So trust and jump, mighty one. Take that step into the unknown, because that is where the activations occur. That is where you remember why you were here in your powers, mighty one.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions today, dear ones, before we finish here today?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
It's about the water. So I heard recently that in our past that there have been codes imprinted in the glaciers, and that it's my assumption was as they melt that we'll start receiving these codes, or are we already receiving them, or is this, I guess, true?
Mighty one, your creation story is multidimensional, and understand that from the very creation of your being as the human collective, understand that there was a perspective on when you were created, that you were to evolve to where you are to now and beyond. So understand that in your creation, your creators foresaw what you can be and your potential. And they knew that you would be able to, at some point of your journey, to remember who you are, that you are much more than human. But understand that everything was encoded to such a point, and the programs were in for a reason, attached to the human collective, to allow you to go through this process of amnesia, of remembering, of amnesia, of remembering. You call these the cycles of golden consciousness. And it's been a pattern throughout your history. But understand it is this pattern of polarity that propelled the human collective to evolution. So understand here that the very birth of your creation, the very birth of who you are as a human collective, entailed certain imprints and codes that was meant to be activated when you're ready in each cycle of your evolutionary journey. So yes, my dear one, you are source, you are energy, but you are also were assisted in your creation by the galactic ones, because you are galactic. So understand that because you were created with the galactic ones, this galactic DNA is also within you, because that is part of your creation story. But understand it was not meant to be, we would say, activated until, we would say, this current time continuum, because you were not ready as a collective, not because you were not worthy, not because you're capable, but because of the programs of human evolution. This is how the polarity system, the amnesia, the remembering, this is the propellant that was required for all races to allow them to go on their evolutionary journey. So understand that all beings in all worlds go through a polarity system. If they are exploring duality consciousness as a propellant for them in their evolution, then they will experience certain cycles as well. Understand there are many who would say patterns here. Understand you are created with patterns. Sacred geometry and codes is at the very forefront of who you are and how you are projected as a blueprint of source itself. How you evolve and how you choose your evolutionary story all relates to certain, what you call a sacred geometry, what you call a certain evolutionary pathways that source created for itself, because you are source. It wanted to experience itself through many different forms, through different pathways of experience, to then being able to expand its consciousness, expand all that is, and to live a physical life, not just a non-physical life, but to be able to experience itself in many forms. So understand that the ice, the waters of your world was imprinted, knowing that your creation story, as the beginning of a cell, came up from the waters. And as it came to the surface, it absorbed the codes within it until the cells reached the land, the surface of the land, and it started its evolutionary journey. And understand, once you were on the surface of Gaia, you then explored your reality in such a point where you received more ascension code activations when you were ready. So understand that the ice were imprinted such a way that they knew that during your timelines, during your perceived history, at certain times, certain aspects of that ice would melt, and that will allow you to run through Gaia's waters, knowing that you are being birthed through these waters and knowing that these waters are an integral part of you. So understand there are different aspects. You're born through these codes, plus you are experiencing life currently through these codes, because all the waters of Gaia is also representative of the waters that flow within you, which you call this your blood. So understand that the layers of the ice were melted according to divine time, according to the evolution process of the humankind. And understand that this is just one aspect of your evolution story. So understand that who you truly are, the potential of your evolutionary story was foreseen by the creators, because they knew you would be going on this expansive journey of evolution through human programs, only to come to the point that you are now, to exploring a whole new array of programs relating to this galactic DNA that is now being activated within you. This is why, my dear one, you are now and the collective having these activations, and your sciences understand that there is aspects of the DNA that they do not understand. They understand there is a dormant DNA strands here, and they do not know why it's for. And this is why it's for, because it lay there in your creation, waiting for it to be activated within your current reality, to then herald a new dimensional experience of reality that relates to who you are beyond the human form. So understand that you are truly advanced. So understand that when you see yourself as limited as a human, know that you are created with galactic DNA. You are created with the codes to allow you to remember who you are, that is beyond the human paradigm. But understand all collectives go through journeys relating to our Pacific dualistic perception, a perception of what the collective is in form. And then as they go through their evolutionary journey, they start to remember and act and remember that they are much more than their form, that they are much more than they are aspects of all the universe, not just in consciousness, but also in physical form, because there is no separation. And that's how you remember who you are in oneness, that all the aspects of the stars, of the universe, of Gaia, of all that is within you in physical form. It's just what creates your physical form is certain, we would say, paradigms of experience related to the human condition, related to the human game here. But understand, because you are now ready, because you are shifting, you're now exploring other programs now. They are becoming activated within you, within the collective, because you're activating those dormant DNA aspects within you. So understand, this is why you are so highly advanced, because you are now at the forefront of exploring who you are beyond human form. And that is why so many of you are activating those abilities within you. You call them your psychic abilities, your divine abilities. They've already been there within you. They're just now ready to be activated within you, because you are now ready to explore those aspects of you that is beyond human form, that is beyond any limitations that you've placed on yourself, my dear one. So understand here that you are highly advanced, and you have always been never alone. We've all been here assisting you from the start of your creation of human form. We've been with you every step of the way to assist you in your evolutionary story. And yes, I was witness to the power of the galactic ones in my time of Atlantis, but understand that this was part of my evolutionary journey, and understand what happened in Atlantis. The first great awakening created a shift of consciousness, created a ripple effect, so to speak, that allowed the great awakening to be then occurred within cycles of time within the human collective. So understand that you would say, in your perception of timeline histories, it all relates to the now. It all relates to what is occurring now, because time is non-linear, because time is eternal, and space-time continuum is multidimensional and multifaceted in your terminology, and allows you to explore why you came here and just how powerful you are, and to be witness to who you are as source, to be witness that you are one. Do you see now, dear one, how powerful you are?
I think I'm getting there.
It's just
But,
one
you know,
step.
it's a process.
Dear ones, it is with such love that we come through today. Remember just how powerful you are. Remember how internal you are. Remember that you are much more than human form. Remember that you are the stars, you are the earth, you are the universe, you are the sun, you are all that is. You are your brothers and sisters. It's just a perception of duality which you see separateness. Understand that the access points within the universe, within Gaia, is within you, because you are birthed of Gaia. You are birthed from the universe, from source itself. So all these codes are within you. These DNA codes are within you, just like your human parents. You have that human DNA within you from your parents, those traits, those abilities. Well, guess what? That also is how you have those aspects from Gaia, from the universe, from all that is, because you are birthed of it all, because all is within you, my dear one. My dear one, you are remembering who you are beyond the human paradigm. So it's time now to let go of what is no longer needed and surrender to your power. Surrender to the truth that you created it all. Surrender to the truth that you have always been worthy, that you have always been capable to live and exist in the stages of your reality, through amnesia, through remembering, through the fears, through the love that you are. Because it's all an experience of reality that allows you to, we would say, expand on this evolutionary journey, that allows you to remember more of who you truly are. So see your world and your reality and all others in it from a perception of oneness. That everything is happening for you, for your evolution. That you are not separate from all that is. That every shadow that is experienced when you're triggered by negative emotion is not from the other, is not from an external condition. It is them playing a role for you. that activates that shadow within you that you have not addressed, that you have not loved and accepted. Can't you see the game being played here? You are highly advanced. And you are remembering this for yourself. It is with such love that we come through today. Remember that you are one. Remember that you are internal. Until next time, farewell.